PD Crumble Detective Agency. Your clues are our answers. Jerry speaking. How may I help you?
I need your services immediately. It's an emergency.
What happened? More murders at the old mill?
What? No, worse.
I'm listening.
Someone stole my birthday cake.
I'll send the boss right over.
Inspecting the crime scene left me with more questions than answers, and they kept bubbling up and over again, like a fizzy bottle of pop you pour too quickly. Which one of them committed the crime? There were too many suspects to count, 8 to be precise. And why did they steal the cake? They were going to get a piece at the party. Did they work alone? Or are any of them liars? I didn't have any concrete proof, but I knew not to trust any of them. Hopefully my questions to them would provide me with some much needed answers.
Well, it was a cold day, typical of the year so far. Too cold for snow, as they say. I was getting ready for the party.
Whose party may that be?
April's party. She was turning 13.
All we'd heard that week was how good her birthday cake was going to be.
And was it as good as she made out?
That's the thing. We never got to try the cake.
When we were at the party, April was a mess.
You could tell she'd been crying.
We asked her what was wrong, and that's when she told us.
Someone had stolen her cake and she believed it had been one of us who'd done it. Can you believe that?
Why do you think she suspected that you could have stolen the cake?
I think she was just upset. I don't think she really meant it.
Is that why you're speaking to me? Does she actually think I could have done it?
That's what I'm here to find out. My first round of questioning had gotten me no closer to the gooey centre of the case. No one was crumbling, but I smelt burning. The sort of burning you get when your pants are on fire. Do you have any reason to suspect that any of the immediate family was involved?
What? Who said that?
It's me, PD Crumble, on the screen.
Is this a dream?
On the screen behind you.
On the screen behind me.
There we go. Now, Granny, do you have any reason to suspect that the immediate family was involved?
April, how'd you change the channel on this thing?
So tell me about your activities during the hours leading up to the video message.
Well, I was getting ready for the party, but it was a fancy dress party. You see, so I popped over to April's to borrow something from my costume.
So you went over to the house. Then what happened?
April told me not to go into the kitchen, that she was going to give everyone a sneak preview of the cake later on social media. She wanted as many people to see it as possible. She would not stop going on about the cake.
So you never saw the cake? Didn't go into the kitchen at all?
Nope.
And what was the item you borrowed from April from your costume?
These roller skates. I was going to be someone from the 80s. Bright colours, skates, you know the look.
Did you try the skates on before you left?
I can't really remember.
She definitely did. She said she wanted to skate home, so I told her to get some practice around the house. We have hardwood flooring downstairs, so it was no trouble.
Did you go with her around the house, I mean?
No, the phone rang, so I went up to answer it and let the dog out. I heard Grace shout that she was leaving, and that's all I saw in her till the party.
Who was on the phone?
Lily Rose.
So, Lily Rose, it's my understanding you called April the morning of the party. Is this true?
I did.
What was the nature of your call?
Well, I needed to borrow a feather duster.
Didn't your family own a feather duster?
No, I needed to borrow one. This one to be precise.
Why did you need to borrow a feather duster the morning of the party?
Why do you think?
Well, I assume you had something to dust.
Bingo!
Dusting away anything in particular? Crumbs, fingerprints, evidence of any kind?
Look, lady, you're barking up the wrong tree. Before you ask, no, I did not steal April's cake. I don't even eat cake that much. I suggest you talk to Isla. She loves cake. Are we done here?
Look, I don't love cake, okay? Do I like it? Yes. Do I enjoy eating cake? Yes. Absolutely.
Do I have to eat it on a daily basis? Sure. But I do not love cake.
Sounding a little flustered there, Isla. Everything okay? Guilty conscience kicking in, perhaps?
No, I have nothing to feel guilty about.
Is that so?
Okay, fine. I'll admit it. Maybe I do love cake. Just a little bit. But I didn't steal the cake. I didn't leave my house that morning. Not until I left the party. You can check my online channel. I stream my games live. It'll prove I wasn't anywhere but right here in this room.
Maybe I'll do just that.
Good. And while you're at it, I think you should question Toby. He definitely has a motive.
Why have I been told to question you specifically?
I don't know.
Could it perhaps be to do with someone that happened 3 months ago? At a certain someone's birthday party?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really? Because what I think has happened is a certain someone had a certain party of their own, and at that certain someone's party, a certain other person knocked over the other person's birthday cake, destroying it in the process. I then think what happened, the certain person whose birthday cake was ruined then spent the next 3 months plotting a way to get even with the certain other person for what they did. Doesn't that sound like a certain motive?
Look, it could have been me, yes, but someone in the story is me, and that certain someone is April, but I didn't do it. That's not what happened to the cake.
Well, what did happen to the cake?
I don't know. I was stuck food shopping all morning with my dad. I literally have no idea what happened. Okay?
Well, if it wasn't you, then who was it? Who stole the cake? The answer to this case was so close I could almost taste it, but at the same time I felt no closer to uncovering just who stole the cake. Maybe it was none of them. Maybe it was all of them. I was beginning to think this would just be added to the big book of unanswered questions right next to the Stonehenge or King Kong. And then it happened. Lightbulb, case solved. Thank you for all gathering here. After many hours and several questions, I can now reveal who actually stole the cake.
When I find out which one of you did this, you'll be sorry.
Oh, then. Who was it?
At first, I thought certainly it had to be one of you. There were certainly clues that suggested that it could be a number of you who had stolen the cake. Georgia, we found your old headphones outside the kitchen back door.
It wasn't me. I lost the headphones weeks ago, the last time I was round at April's house.
I know that. The headphones were certainly worse for wear. Not a sign you had visited or dropped them recently. There were the track marks going through the kitchen, possibly caused by roller skates.
Look, I tried on the skates and practiced around the house like April told me to.
She also told you to not go into the kitchen, but you just couldn't help yourself, could you? I mean, literally, you couldn't ride or steer the roller skates, and you ended up skating right through the kitchen.
Yes, fine, I did. I couldn't stop. I was so embarrassed. I ran home carrying the skates with me. I didn't want April to know I couldn't skate.
So it was you. You went into the kitchen when I was on the phone and letting the dog out?
Not so fast. The skates were quite heavy, surely too heavy to carry and smuggle a cake out as well without being seen by anyone.
I can't skate, but I didn't take the cake, April.
Indeed, it wasn't you.
Who was it?
There was the mysterious feather duster request.
Lily Rose, didn't I tell you it was her, sneaky so-and-so?
You did.
Hey!
While she refused to cooperate, I now know why.
Because she stole the cake.
Why did I find a feather in the kitchen, Lily Rose?
I don't know.
Why?
Because I swapped the feather dusters, okay? I broke my mama's before the party, trying to use it as part of my costume. I didn't want to get grounded, so I thought if I swapped April's for mine, my mum wouldn't know, and I wouldn't get into trouble. I made the swap when I arrived at the party.
Wait, so they didn't steal the cake?
No, sadly, Lily Rose committed a different crime.
Will you please just tell me who stole the cake?
The person who stole your cake is right there behind you.
Behind me? There's no one behind me, only my dog.
Exactly. While you were so quick pointing fingers at everyone else, you didn't suspect your own dog. Nobody notices the dog. I didn't think it's an exaggeration to say your dog is a criminal mastermind.
But how? But when?
Easy. When you left Grace to go and answer the phone and left the dog out, you weren't paying attention. He came back inside from doing his business, snuck into the kitchen, jumped at the countertop and stole the cake. Seconds later, Grace rolled through the kitchen, making wheel marks on the crumbs he'd left behind.
But how do you know it was definitely him?
George's old headphones, they were all chewed up. I followed some paw prints out of the bottom of the garden. Behind the shed was a half-eaten cake lying amongst some other personal effects. It seems your dog has been holding items for a while now. Case closed.
Wow, I'm so sorry, everyone. I truly, I didn't mean to blame on you. It's just a cake. It's the best cake in the world. Still, that's no excuse. I'm sorry. My mum bought me another one, though. Would anybody care for a piece of cake?
Turns out the answers were right in front of me the entire time. It's funny, if you go down the rabbit hole far enough, you might never find your way back. But you follow your nose, the clues will lead you right to the solution. I hope that dog gets locked up for his crimes. We don't need criminals like that walking our streets. I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles on this one.